Anything but one. Let's go into picks and bans for game 2 then and see how this one works out between the two of them. Obviously as well, I mean, when we look at Luminosity here, coming into the split, you had Enemy above them. You'd have to say Saw because they're like the super team. You've got Eager, Unchanged Roster that were high flying as well. Just those three ahead of them already. Then you've still got Denial, who started the season fantastic. And you expect LG maximum 5th then. But no. They're looking at number 1.
This has been an awesome split to watch,
fantastic,
hasn't it? I mean, just the competitive.
The most competitive split I've seen.
Without a doubt. I mean, we saw Enemy versus Randozzo's earlier today. 2 very competitive games.
Completely
I mean, this LAN, no one knows what's going to happen. It is so hard to say who's going to be going to Super Regionals from North America, and that's just fun. That's just good old-fashioned fun.
Did you taste that?
Is this a
salty?
Is this a salty run back?
It feels like a salty run back right now. At least the bands are saying that to us anyway. Susano banned out, and will Eager go with Nemesis again? They will. Now, all I expect is to see Terra locked in one more time.
Why wouldn't you?
No.
Right? Why wouldn't you?
Well, maybe because Jeff fed.
Oh, true. No, I trust Jeff.
You trust him enough to go again? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this time around, Eager, will they mix things up in their picks? Because they picked Guan in the stage, if you remember last time round. And I believe, what was it alongside?
Was it Guan and Janus?
Janus, it was. Well, they're going to go back with Guan. It is really tasted salty now.
But, again, this is a flex pick, right? You don't necessarily know if this is going to go on your DJ in the jungle, though that'd be fun, right?
Although I don't think Guan Yu versus Terra isn't a great matchup for Guan Yu, I want to say. It will allow his conviction stacks a little bit because of the dot damage, but rooted in place so you can't tell him assault or stunned out of it with the walls as well.
Right.
And then cavalry charge on top of that can't really lock people down because Terra's blessing will get them away again.
True, pretty quick. Yeah, it would be tough, but you're out sustaining her.
Yeah,
you know, you are providing more team healing overall, so it could really go either way. But in lane, I'd say I'd definitely give the advantage to Terra. However, that conviction heal on the minions is really, really important in the laning phase. And that's something that you're really missing whenever you're running Guan Yu in the jungle, is that you aren't impacting the laning phase as much because you aren't healing your own minions.
It's a good point. I think cast as a whole, we do overlook the minions a little bit in terms of sustain.
Minions are overpowered, dude. Those are the number one things that need nerfs in Smite.
What do we do to them? We just remove the bows.
I remember
have to throw
there was
the
like something on
arrows.
Twitter. I don't know. One of the lead designers was like, "What do you guys think about fire minions?" And I was like, I have never once thought about fire minions as a mechanic. Like, it's never like even crossed my mind. It's like, yeah, you get the Phoenix, you get fire minions. That's normal.
Yeah, that's normal.
Man, designing a MOBA's hard.
It is. It is.
hi-rez is a great company, guys.
Wow,
we do really great work.
You've already got the job. Why are you doing that? God, these casters these days, they're coming to work with. I can't stand this now. Sol is locked in for Eager, though. They did mix it up instead of the Janus this time round. And then it's Jingwei and Raijin. So a trio one more time, obviously. The Terra Jingwei combo, we will definitely see this game.
Not having the Soul option like they did last time, so they're going towards the Raijin. I don't think that's going to be BaRRaCCuDDa on the Raijin. I'm assuming this is going to be Jingwei.
Wouldn't it be funny if he did, though?
That'd be awesome.
That'd be funny to see. Athena, so I think it's too important in a game for Luminosity, really, to not take away number 1 spot by picking Raijin in the Hunter role. However, I think we will see the Sol going over to Zapman here.
I would agree with that. Best more towards the Vulcans, the Janus, that kind of stuff. Not Sol, not quite. Though he does play Kronos pretty well. So
that's a good point.
Not too far off. You know, the sort of magical ADC sort of feel to them. Very similar bands this time, though. The Nuwa and the Vulcan targeted at TheBest, leaving that Janus open, which is kind of surprising.
Well, there's a Neith again, so it's a bit of a flex option there to the mid lane. And TheBest playing Sol or Neith, I'm probably going to say I'd expect to see Neith. Sorry, I'd expect to see Sol more than Neith, I feel.
I would agree with that, yeah. I don't think Best has played Neith so far this split.
I mean, Best is kind of stuck to like 3 or 4 gods through the whole time here as well. If I just quickly read them off, Janus, Vulcan, Nuwa, and Zeus is all he's played. So he's playing something different this game.
Yeah, Neja locked in for LG. This is a combo that we see a lot of people run just because Raijin's really strong and Neja is a solid jungler.
Yep.
But the synergy there isn't usually what I like to see out of a mid lane with a Neja. You want some big, like, giant burst.
Kraken.
You want a Kraken or a Kukulkan ultimate or exactly something like that. Raijin doesn't have that like one shot destroy your whole life sort of thing. But
well, you can taunt them in again, I guess, afterwards. So you can keep them.
You can, but the whole
damage.
point of the Neja ultimate into a big mage ult is that they can't use any actives, right?
True.
And you can still use actives after you get taunted in. So, you know, could go either way. It looks like it is going to be Guan Yu jungle again. Is Xing
I
Chen?
don't think so. I think that's
going to be Athena jungle.
I'm going to call that now. I think that's Athena jungle, just because we saw we can do it earlier on. It's something that we've seen djpernicus do potentially before, and I feel like Aror, I mean, it could go either way, but I just feel it might be the Athena jungle here. Jing solo, though. So they're going for the same sort of comp again. This time it's 3 Guardians this time round. It is Athena jungle.
Nice call.
With
the Wrath.
Thank you. I'm not even a pro player, me, but I can still, you know.
Well, yeah, you get to see this top-down sort of thing. I just like feed in-game. You feed out here.
I don't feed. I just eat. That's what I do. djpernicus are under pressure in the jungle already. Walled off, knocked up too. They caught DJ out. I thought he was going to get away with dash, but clearly not. DJ falls down for first blood. Luminosity start as they left off the last game.
Feels bad for djpernicus, man. Feels bad. Like that, I don't know what it's called, but like that little carrot emote that he has. It's like the feel bad face.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we get one of those in chat, whatever they're called? Can we actually look at djpernicus?
Can you stop dictating in chat to
I absolutely
spam?
Cannot.
Please.
He did not end up getting the dash, so at least that's good for him.
Well, that's the funny story, right? He had Wrath as well, yeah? And he also he could have took his dash, and he could have lived there. But he chose not to, I want to say.
Could he have, though? Because he got knocked up immediately after the Terra stun, and at that point, you still have the charge time on the dash. I think he probably dies either way there, and you are just dead in the water.
At the same time, they were all collapsed around him as well. That Wrath would have hit all 4 for the stun. Then he could have potentially won, is what I'm thinking. I'm just trying to put it out there.
But is that even worth it? Because like even if you do get away, you know, now you've got no Wrath, and you've got your dash, and you're never getting your buffs. LG's going to invade you.
That's true.
And then you're going to be even farther behind than just dying before the minions start. So DJ just kind of accepting that right there is definitely the right play in my opinion.
Okay, well, we'll see how this works out from now, because obviously Mask got first blood there, and it's not someone you really want to give it to over on this side of things. However, Clear's very interested between the two. Mast did not respect how much burst damage was coming out from Eager. So got chipped away quite healthily there.
This is the second time we've seen Xing Chen today after the recently received buffs in 3.17. A little bit faster on the wind-up for the ultimate. You don't have a whole eternity to a react, just like half of one.
Oh, Thunder Crash in and followed by a sash from Master as well. Looking for DJ again. The ring toss will hit the minions. He dashes against the wall to escape, dropping some good damage down, and Divios gets a very good body block off there.
3-man root!
The root on top from the best means Master's still under pressure, but there's no further follow-up available. Eager did so well then.
Yeah, really aggressive play there by Xeno to dash in, but knowing that his jungler and solo laner were coming behind them. But I don't know if they knew that Divios was coming behind Scary D. So if that would have been a 2-on-3, it would have been perfect for LG, but a nice rotation from Divios keeps that kind of aggression down.
We saw signs of life out of both teams there. I mean, Eager defending that very, very well, but at the same time, Luminosity kind of feeling themselves a little bit after that last set. You could clearly tell with that rotation.
After that kind of game, and you get the first blood before minion spawn, you know, it's kind of hard not to feel yourself. By the way, Best is piloting that Neith in the middle lane, not the Soul. So you had the Athena jungle.
It could have been either one because he's not played any of those so far. We've never actually seen the Best play these sort of hunters in the mid lane. His normal go-tos have always been Janus and Scylla, but the changes to Scylla meant that he kind of drops out power pop changes, I want to say there. And that actually meant he had to change his god pool a little bit this time.
Aurora getting knocked up, the CC chain yet again from Terra. Just so much lockdown and chase potential using that Jingwei-Terra combination. And speaking of the Best not playing Neith, he's going for a different build than you see most Neith ADC or Neith mids go for. Going for the Bluestone. I wonder if they would have had enough damage to finish Scary D had he gone for Transcendence after that triple root.
Good point. I mean, what do you feel the benefit of this Bluestone is going to be, though, Aggro, compared to the Transcendence we normally see?
You just get faster mobility. You get your boots online faster. Your clear is I'd probably say it's about even. Honestly, Transcendence just feels so natural that I've never even played with Bluestone in the middle lane because you want that mana sustain, it gives you good power, you're safe enough already. I mean, compared to most mages, Neith is like you're shooting them from your tier 2 tower. You're so safe on Neith. It just feels so natural, but Best electing to go for this Bluestone instead wants that extra mobility to rotate earlier, and I'll be curious to see if he still goes for the Transcendence after this.
Is some of that down to the composition he's against too? Hold that thought. World Weaver being channeled over to the dual lane here by the Best. I'm not sure if he's really going to commit for this one. They may be looking for BaRRaCCuDDa, but minion wave pushing in means it's got to get fired now, and it does immediately, but immediately purified out, and Jeff going to root Zapman in place a little bit. Now Jeff under pressure instead.
I'm surprised they didn't just hop on the horse and go immediately for BaRRaCCuDDa after the purification, but Jeff is clearly the target out of mana, but BaRRaCCuDDa's going to be
pinning him in.
Throwing some pot shots onto Aror. Meanwhile, Scary D is going to pick up DJ on his own speed buff.
And this is what happens with Terra Blessing. It hits the whole team, so they go aggressive on 2 areas. The Best running for his life now, gets a great root off, but the Raiju was good from Xeno. Not going to have the Thunder Crash to follow up, however. And second kill of the game happens off screen in a different engagement.
Look, Best hasn't played this god in the Pro League yet, this split. We haven't seen it. but the 2 Spirit Arrows that we've seen in team fights have hit 5 people
Yeah, they were
total.
hot.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's uncomfortable on this god at all, and that's a really good sign for Eager, because with this sort of composition, I really like this one much more than their last sort of tanky comp. You have more early damage with the Neith middle than you did with the Janus. The taunt into root combination is extremely potent because you aren't getting any diminishing returns on the root off the taunt. So they're locked down for like, what is it, 4.5 seconds total if you time it correctly. Really, really tough to deal with, and you still have Zapman to come in and carry the late game.
And going back to that Bluestone as well, I was going to say, like, Mast and XenoTronics in mid lane, having that extra mobility with the boots ahead of the Transcendence, it does give him a bit more survivability there up against that match, because one of the reasons we may not see the Transcendence.
For sure, but you do get, I mean, you can still get 3 pots with a Transcendent start, and your heal's going to be hitting for more because of that extra power you get from it. Really not the wrong call necessarily, just like a, sort of thing.
Well, it's only 3 sets of reinforced boots so far this game, as Divios has picked him up on the Guan Yu, on the Jing 10, and Guan Yu has him as well.
But that's been fairly standard even once the cooldown boots got nerfed for a little bit ago, though those did get buffed, so I'm kind of surprised Divios didn't go for that. Jing Chen really needs that cooldown reduction because of how long his cooldowns are. Kind of surprised to see that, but against the Bluestone and the, you know, the kind of multiple hits that Vamana is going to give you with the 2 and then the 3 hitting twice, it works out with those reinforcements.
Good point. I mean, it's an indirect nerf to Bluestone as well, that. Obviously, because Bluestone does do that dot damage, which is going to stack up the passive, which makes you a little bit tankier overall. So another thing that hits Bluestone again, because obviously we had Vanguards that did that as well.
Right, and you've seen a lot of supports going Vanguard after the tank boots. We saw Jing
from Mast straight into an ultimate too. The drums have been sounded by Xeno, and he's going to follow up with a taunt on DJ. Here still though, DJ is standing, and look at what's happened to Mast at the same time. They will trade out jungler for jungler.
That's a purification onto XenoTronics. No dash available. Use it to kill DJ.
Great wall from Jeff. Will make sure no more pressure on Xeno though, and Aror has to limp away. The root is good, but the Thunder Crash back in. BaRRaCCuDDa around the corner with a gust will clean it up, and now comes Zapman looking for JeffHindla potentially, but they're both very healthy targets here. Going to use the Disapparate for the extra mobility and to avoid those in-hands that BaRRa is on the mark for. He's going to agility in. BaRRa wants blood, going to force the supernova. Airstrike is good. Zapman falls down. BaRRaCCuDDa gets a double kill.
Man, Zapman just took so many autos coming around from that backside. I think BaRRaCCuDDa may have gotten a crit using that second ability to enhance his auto attacks, the explosive bolts, but just really great team play coming out between BaRRaCCuDDa and JeffHindla. It's almost like these guys have played a little bit together.
Those rotations from BaRRaCCuDDa though on point. I mean, trying to get there as quick as possible. Yeah, he is Jing away with that passive too, but trying to rotate as much as possible these times around as well. And JeffHindla, for him in that mid lane, that double wall that hit actually made sure they couldn't continue the pressure on Xeno, and it actually allowed that rotation from BaRRaCCuDDa to pay off even more.
No doubt. XenoTronics actually also djpernicus almost got out, but his dash got interrupted by the Thunder Crash from XenoTronics. So a lot of high-level interactions that kind of can go by the wayside a little bit there. But you see now 2-level lead onto BaRRaCCuDDa. He's almost up. He's up about 700 gold, and that's only going to get worse.
Well, Jeff going to get taunted onto by djpernicus, but with the monolith down and the minion wave and masquering round, it's Aror that's a little bit caught out of position, forced to dash away. Good little dash, but the root will slow him for a second. ScaryD thinking about rotating, but with everybody backing off, he'll just accept the right in Harpies unless Divios has anything to say about it.
Divios, on this Jing Chen is down about a level and almost 900 gold. No first blood on Divios, no taking his blue buff, anything like that. This has just been ScaryD bullying him with this Vamana.
Was it also to do with the invade though at the speed buff where ScaryD got the kill early on, if you remember, with that Terra's Blessing? I think that was first blood, so that first blood gold is coming into account there a little bit.
Definitely true. Forgot that was going on to ScaryD. JeffHindla in the middle of 4, but no fear, using that double dash to get out of dodge there.
Yeah, get out of jail free card pretty much used there. 8 minutes in though, 5-1 Luminosity in a very good position here. It's a 2,000 gold lead, 2,000 experience. I mean, it's not as bad as last game, aggro, but it's still bad.
No, it definitely isn't great, but it's not as bad as last game, as you said. And Divios is now going to lose some more minions at tower. He came to the middle lane there. I guess they were thinking about fighting against JeffHindla, but look at all the tower poke that ScaryD has gotten. He's going to lose 2 to 3 melee minions, Divios, and that's going to put him even farther behind.
A little bit surprised ScaryD didn't say that just to farm that next wave coming through with the proxy, just because his team could have had Gold Fury pressure if we saw the rotation at DJ.
Yeah, DJ was thinking about making the rotation, or excuse me, that's Aror. Now that I see Guan Yu, I just think it's,
I said it too after last game. Sash though from Mast, going to put Divios in an awkward spot, but we're going to go ring around the roses. Purification used, which will absorb as well the arrow coming through with the World Weaver from Best in mid lane.
Everyone trying to make their rotation over there. No Gold Fury being looked at quite yet. The Gold Fury burst isn't quite as good for LG this time. What a great sash off the knockup, but immediately hogged.
And Mass is going to get in a bit of trouble there as well. Forced out is still Divios and SPL going at it. Aror now making a rotation one more time on Guan. You trying to make sure XenoTronics doesn't get over here, or Terra.
Once XenoTronics makes that rotation, he can definitely just pound onto Divios. He doesn't have any magical protection. He doesn't have any way to get out of the Taiko drums. If he taunts him in, he can taunt him into a free ult from Mast as well. So definitely a good idea to keep him out of that solo lane, because right now is kind of the time where mages can still really hurt those solo laners.
And you did see with that Raf coming out from djpernicus there, the taunt into Raf combo, if he hits that with 3 people, that could spell a lot of trouble there for Luminosity. But they look at Gold Fury here. Zapman knows what's up, and can he steal it away? He's got Supernova ready. Drums have been sounded. Gold Fury goes the way of Luminosity.
That was really close, though. Zapman got in there, but elected not to use the ultimate. Maybe he just wasn't close enough.
Maybe?
Yeah, it's not as far.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be a little bit closer, just not quite close enough. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see Xeno kind of turn and try and fear Zapman away using that ultimate. Raijin ultimate's so good at securing objectives. Not in the traditional way of, you know, big predictable burst damage, but you can peel for your objective and do damage to it at the same time. But they just trusted they had enough damage, and they did the math right.
In the jungle, more aggression. Aror forced to use his ultimate there as Mass takes one to the sky. He's going to take out XenoTronics, though, on the backside of that, but the rings are bouncing around from Mass, causing havoc. And djpernicus is in trouble. Don't forget Terra's blessings in effect, but so is the curse, which is slowing them all down. SPL did clean up the best he was trying to get out, and SPL round the corner looking for Aror. XenoTronics credited for the kill, and Divios is against 4 now as even BaRRaCCuDDa turned up.
Divios throws some away, and getting the Athena ultimate down as well is going to dissuade the rest of LG from chasing after them. But just a nice engagement. Aror kind of left alone after Best is picked up. SPL just diving so deep. And again, SPL abusing the lead that he gets early. This time, not going for the Frostbound Hammer right away. He got the Pestilence up against the magical laner this time. You want some protection up against the damage type that your laner is, but now going for that cooldown and then probably electing to go for that Frostbound Hammer.
And that Pestilence will help out against the Meditate. It'll also help against Conviction as well. Also TheBest as well. With those Unravels, they do heal. Going to do a little bit less if he's around him, as Max does hit level 12 now, so has his second relic. Do you expect to see a Blink coming out?
I do, yeah. Blink on Neja, just you can't do anything against it if Mask plays it right, and that's something that there isn't a whole lot of in Smite. Most things, there's some counterplay available to you, but if you get Blink Neja ulted, you're probably dead when you hit the ground.
Well, the Moan, I mean, Eager, they're not looking great right now. 7-1. Luminosity have controlled this game. It's more credit to them than against what Eager have done. Sash from Mass, they're going to cancel out the Tele Assault from Aror, and Aror will just skip back to the safety of his own half of the map.
Aror did elect to go for that Mark of the Vanguard right after the tank boots, as did JeffHindla. So like you said, the stuff like Bluestone Pendant coming out of SPL or from TheBest, not going to be nearly as effective. Best going to try and punish SPL for proxying a wave with so little mana, but able to clear the path right out of there.
Well, he's going to get pressured more here because he's still lower mana. SPL at the moment does have a Bluestone ticking, however, and a Meditate, as you just saw. So that rotation from Eager doesn't really work out for them. I believe I heard Terra's Blessing go off, though, so Jeff did help him out a little bit.
Yeah, forcing an ultimate for free is always a good thing, and Best, by the way, is going for the Transcendence immediately after the boots, but now finishing at minute 12, that's not too bad for the duo lane, but the duo lane gets so much more farm. You're solo farming all the time. You can take waves by yourself. I don't know. It just seems a little late for that Transcendence in the middle lane. Well, however, that being said, if you're going to stack like a Warlock Sash and you get it done by 12 minutes, you're in a great spot. But Warlock Sash much more dependent on stacks than an item like Transcendence.
That's a good point. I guess because Transcendence only really gives you raw damage and a mana regen as well, and flat mana, whereas Warlock Sash gives you health as well as damage.
Health, mana, and damage, yeah. So Warlock Sash definitely one of the
a little bit too far forward there. Took a lot of free poke for no reason. And Aror's going to commit as well with the Will Weaver coming through from Best, but Sanctuary will keep him alive. And now the drums are sounding and it's Aror in trouble. DJ's going to try and ult Aror to keep him alive, but it's too late. He falls down in the mid lane. Luminosity find another kill.
Aror just biting off a little bit more than he could chew. Everyone collapsing around. And speaking of collapsing, Best in some trouble in the middle lane. Hit by the ultimate from Mass. That'll clean him up. And now Eager down to 3 members alive.
Zapman rotating in, looking for that damage from the Stellar Burst. Still has Supernova available, but look at the poke that BaRRaCCuDDa just put onto him, forcing him to disapparate and retreat back, as now Luminosity look to see drop the tier 1.
BaRRaCCuDDa just too much to handle. Level 15, even the same level as SPL. Divios not even matching that level quite yet. And for some reason, Divios is just letting him kind of hit the tower, focusing on everyone else.
Throw out the ultimate, get the purification off of XenoTronics, who somehow still had that standing after that. Slashing from Mass, but he gets a lot of free poke in response. Supernova drop from Zapman as well. Eager could potentially turn this fight round. Luminosity on the run as the curses popped as well. JeffHindla the first to fall. Now ScaryD being looked at too. DJ looking to clean up the back as well and clean it, but still Scary alive. And DJ in tower range going to get sashed, forcing DJ back.
There's that sustain from Guan Yu. They looked a little bit poked. All of a sudden, a big conviction, and Eager is on the offensive. Divios trying to find Xeno in the back. Now BaRRaCCuDDa still pretty healthy in the middle lane, so no real worries for him. In fact, Divios needs to be worried.
He does now, especially with XenoTronics come back in with that Thunder Crash. BaRRa off the mount with a couple of those in hand, so they fall back for now. However, JeffHindla falling down there does give Eager a bit of a moment of respite against the Luminosity boys.
It's this train of Luminosity that seems like they're just like rolling over Eager right now, and Eager finally getting a good punch back.
Gold Fury, however, though, is available. It's just spawned, and Eager recognized it too. They did have vision of it going down, so they know this is up, and it's up to BaRRa to try and defend. BaRRa has his ultimate just come back up. The airstrike is here, but he invests in the Gust and going to get purified. Walls from Jeff will slow them down. Gold Fury goes the way of Eager, and now Jeff, he's in a bit of trouble, but he's going to dash out of the Divios hold.
BaRRaCCuDDa, the only one there, and Eager knows that he doesn't have enough damage right now to get through to that Gold Fury and steal it, unless they really mess up their burst. But Neith actually, you know, you usually want your mage to be the one bursting. Neith has excellent Gold Fury burst, but you saw Best set up that weave at the bottom of the Gold Fury, and then you could double root it basically with that Spirit Arrow. Secures Gold Furies very well, and Eager did that perfectly there.
Well, Luminosity basically like let off the pressure quite a bit by that siege on the tier 1 tower. Not only did Eager pick up a kill, but getting that Gold Fury as well just keeps him in this game a little bit more aggro.
Just the wrong timing for that tower push.
Yeah.
If Gold Fury wasn't up, that would have been totally fine. Eager wasn't going to get anything else on that back end. No buffs were up, anything like that. But because that Gold Fury had just respawned and everyone from LG was either dead or respawning or low enough that they had to back, it was just really unfortunate timing. And when you're LG, you have to recognize that that is going to be the objective that's up. And it's like, hey, if this goes poorly, they get a free Gold Fury and they're right back in this game. There's still a significant lead for LG, but that is exactly what Eager needed to start clawing their way back into it.
Well, now with the Gold Fury being down as well as the whole jungle as well, I think both teams will just go back to farming here. Nothing to really contest over, because even if you do win a couple of kills, what are you going to get off it? Maybe a tier 1, or have it turn on you again.
And that's the time that you want to make those sieges, not when Gold Fury is coming up. But if you're LG, you have to be playing around ScaryD and Masked. Those are the two that have significant level advantages over their lane partners. I mean, even Zapman up against Jing Wei.
Blink
Hold on that thought.
Initiation from Mass straight in mid, picks up Best, dunks him back down. Backflip's available, but he's going to purify and sanctuary away a lot of it. And Best trying to stay in the fight and put poke out first. But round the back comes ScaryD. The Vamana is here. He's going to get a World Weaver off, but Big Baby's online, and he'll pick up the Best. Next, he turns his attention towards djpernicus as BaRRaCCuDDa is just able to sit at the back, agility in, and look for the extra damage.
This is exactly what you want to do as Jing Wei. Just wait for your time and gas pedal. Now's the time for BaRRaCCuDDa. You're going to use the airstrike to try and get under that tier 2 tower. Divios going to pick up ScaryD and throw him under that tier 2 tower.
But ScaryD will meditate just to keep him alive for a second. One more hit, and Scary will die, but he jukes it out so well. BaRRaCCuDDa going to keep Aror busy, and Aror's getting low as well. One more gush should be enough, but there's no cooldown on it just yet. Still, he gets out. A man fight in the mid lane. The tier 1 tower falls, and only one member of both teams fall. However, Eager, they're not done, I don't think.
They're not done quite yet. DJ pushing up, BaRRaCCuDDa left alone, but he's level 17 and still about half health. They need to be careful that he doesn't get just turn and gas pedal them.
djpernicus on the left is being chased down. I think Luminosity were looking at for a second, but instead they'll sit mid. Good still a burst from Zap though, poking him back one more time, so they can't sit inside that monolith.
Just a little bit too low to siege that tier 2. How do you kill ScaryD? He gets out with 1 HP all the time. We saw it last game by the speed buff. We saw it there. Just gets out by the skin of his teeth, biting off exactly how much he needs.
I mean, a lot of that credit goes to djpernicus, but back in mid lane again, Disapparate used by Zap, very aware of how much damage ScaryD can put out. Tries to return some back himself though, as Best is round the corner here, as is Aror. ScaryD bit off a bit more than he can chew now, the Big Baby being wailed on.
This is how I think you kill ScaryD, but even then, 4 against 1, you can't. He's level 18, does have that Breastplate of Valor finished, and like I mentioned, right into that Frostbound Hammer. So much raw HP in that build. The Pestilence, tons of HP. Frostbound Hammer, tons of HP. And he's got the protection to both sides.
causes a lot of issues for the boys of Eager to bring him down, especially when Curse isn't available for Aror in that last little skirmish. It's the only real anti-heal they have to deal with the baby. But granted, you don't want to invest too much anti-heal just for the baby.
No, what you want to do against Vamana in those mid to late game team fights is just ignore him. Just let him go. You know, let him be this big baby stomping around. He shouldn't have enough burst damage to really kill you from 100 to 0. Let your damage dealers kill whoever their target is, and then everyone collapse onto Vamana. So ScaryD needs to be wary of this and push this lead now while he's, you know, quote unquote unkillable.
Well, XenoTronics, level 14 in the mid lane. Book of Thoth is stacking now as well, so he's doing okay for himself, so to speak, after finishing off the defensive options that he went for early on and the extra penetration.
Yep.
Nothing to add?
Nope.
Nope.
Not
I just
this
said
time.
everything you needed to. Okay.
Not this time. I'm good on that.
We'll keep talking for the time being. As Chins.
Not that one. Try again.
Okay, Chins picked up by BaRRaCCuDDa this game as well.
Yes.
What do you think about the Chins pickup, aggro?
I like it because he has
No,
the
I don't want to talk
penetration
about that
online.
anymore.
Okay.
There you go. Don't do that to me again. Rude. How rude. Yeah, but what about the Chins anyway?
So we talked earlier in the set I had with F-Dot about how PandaCat and Wowie had gone 2 different builds. Wowie elected to go Executioner, while PandaCat elected to go for the Keen Size. And I said I didn't really like it because he had no penetration. Here for BaRRaCCuDDa, I like it because he does have that penetration. Coming off that Aussie, he elected to go for this instead of the Devo Gloves build. Oh, hold that thought. Another Blink ult for Mask.
And they're going to actually be able to pick him up before you can get land down there as well. Now the drums turn towards Aror, who's CC'd in place by the Terra as well. Dashes into a wall to try and create room. And the cavalry charge is forced too. So that was 2 ultimates for 1 ultimate and a kill, and maybe even a Gold Fury.
And a Gold Fury. Just the amount of pressure they're putting out. Aror poked out. He does have that heal, but I don't know. ScaryD zoning 3 right now. Divios trying to get into this Gold Fury pit, but DJ's all alone in the back.
And they all collapse onto him too, but DJ dashes through the wall away from the fight at the same time. The split from Eager is good here, just to weather the storm for a minute, knowing Best is coming back up. But Luminosity return to the Gold Fury one more time.
They're okay with this. We'll pull it, we'll fight you, we'll pull it, we'll fight you. Anything they want to do right now. Gold Fury getting to about half HP. BaRRaCCuDDa finally starting to take some significant damage. Jeff trying to zone Zapman, but I don't know if that's the character you want.
Well, by him zoning it, they were looking at Divios, but look at this. XenoTronics in a bit of an awkward position there. Forced to purify away from Divios, and Divios going to look for him with a World Weaver coming through. He's going to connect, but it's not going to be enough damage. The Sanctuary came through at the right time as BaRRA does clean up Aror now, and Mass looking at Divios, but with DJ coming back in. Going to be respectful, and they're turning to Pern instead. The ring toss and the Gold Fury to close the gap.
Just using that Gold Fury as a stationary target. DJ, though, with the speed buff, should be able to get out. Finally, someone kills ScaryD, falling to the best. DJ gonna go up into the air, going for a little ride with Mask.
And he's gonna fall down back to base as BaRRA gets credit for the kill with the Gust waiting for him at the bottom as well. There's a combo that you were asking about.
I was just about to say
Gust.
that. Yeah, you typically think of these mage ultimates, but just dropping a Gust right underneath where they're gonna come up, they get CC'd for so long and there's really nothing that they can do about it. Not that even if DJ doesn't have purification, so even without that, he would have been CC'd for quite some time.
So ScaryD might not like you after this set, by the way, aggro.
Why?
Because you gave him the cast a curse.
I've been very nice to him. I think he'll appreciate my casting.
Okay, we'll find out after this. When you're like, why are we saying bring me down and kill me? And he's like, yeah, finally he died.
Yeah, but like he was 1v4, he was doing all this cool stuff. He pushed the lead in both games. He's doing a great job.
Okay, good save. Left-hand side, though, Gold Fury is still available here as Jeff zones out Zapman from that ward. Very good use of that wall there to make sure he gets that ward control, at least for a second.
Just some general character knowledge. That's what you like to see on these newer gods that are just available for play. This shows that JeffHindla has really put a lot of time into a god like Terra, even if they aren't available in ranked, things like that. Practicing them in casual games and in scrims is very important because when they come out and everyone values them heavily, and you finally get that with that first pick, you want to be able to make the most out of that pick.
I will say though, aggro, that when we look at this game experience, yes, it's definitely in favor of Luminosity, but the goldies is still not that much, so we get a not out of this game just yet. It may feel like that way when you look at 13-3 in kills, but it's really not the story.
Not by any means, but BaRRaCCuDDa has to be shut down if you are on Eager. He's level 20 now, 5-0-4, has that chin size like we were talking about. He needs to be the focus, but as long as you kill him, I'm not sure that Luminosity has enough damage to deal with the tanky lineup of Eager.
Gold Fury below half, and round the corner, they've been looking for the pick on djpernicus there, but we're able to find it. Meanwhile, Terra's Blessing has been popped, as you can see, masked, as well as ScaryD was zoning away Zapman, and they do find TheBest in the backside one more time.
Mask has been on point with these ults, and there's the Gust waiting for Best as soon as he lands. Now Zapman getting stomped on by ScaryD. Nowhere to go, just has to take it.
And ScaryD's going to sit in that big baby farm for a long time and continue to chase in, looking for an airstrike from BaRRaCCuDDa to close the gap, and he'll get credit credit for the kill. Divios picks up 2, but they're not going to ult out of that one. They're not too worried about it for now. It's Divios that needs to be scared, and he's going to be aggressed on by the Sash, and BaRRa gets himself another kill.
Just 8-0-4 now. DJ split pushing the mid lane. Might as well pick up some farm while he can. And this is going to probably be 2 towers on the left-hand side, plus a Gold Fury for LG. Master's just been on point with these Blink ultimates. Like we said, there's not really a whole lot you can do against a Blink Neja ult. And then you lay the Gust underneath. The only thing that Eager can do if Mast hits that Blink ult is push all of LG away from him. You have to keep everyone else away from whoever he has in the sky. Because at this point in the game, Mast can't 100-0 someone with that ultimate yet, and so you have to make sure that there's no follow-up waiting when he hits the ground. And that just, it's so hard to do that. It's really difficult, and it just hasn't worked out that so far for Eager.
It feels like Eager have gone for this, like they've seen the patch go through, and they've said to themselves, going multiple tanks and then some backline, you know, self-peel gods is the way to go.
This feels like an Eager console squad. Like they run these tank comps, they used to at least, all the time, especially in Season 2. And it was really potent because they did a good job of getting ahead and then just being way too tanky for you to kill. But Eager just hasn't been ahead in either of the games.
Good point. I think that's the biggest thing about this. If you get behind, will it work out? And at the moment, I guess what LG are running, no is the answer. I think Terra's definitely made an impact in this game for sure, as per every game. 13 assists so far in this one for Jeff. Only 1 death, so he's improving.
Definitely doing better than the last game. I mean, he was awful last game. Kappa.
Wow, you got to watch yourself.
But now the fight, Jeff, please love me.
The Fire Giant is definitely the next focus point for both these two teams now, and this is still a way back in for Eager.
Definitely. Zapman is the way back in for Eager because even though we've talked a lot about his lane mate BaRRaCCuDDa, he's been top of the damage this entire time, 21,000.
His position has been pretty good too, even though he's fallen down twice. But Will Weaver hits XenoTronics, who immediately ults himself to make sure he's standing. Interesting choice from him though there, but now DJ's going to come in, and now the Purification gets used instead of the ultimate.
But all of this is on XenoTronics. Nothing on BaRRaCCuDDa. Look at his positioning, standing way in the middle lane, knowing that they can use all this all they want on Xeno. He's going to be able to put out the damage he needs to, and BaRRaCCuDDa's still going to be there to clean up.
I think we've actually seen that from XenoTronics as well when you think about it. Like, he's been focused a lot and then forced to use his relics and his ultimate to disengage. But then again, they're investing into him and he's still surviving. This seems to be LG's plan. Let Xeno be the focal target.
Absolutely, because he's still getting his damage off. It doesn't matter if you die as a mage, as long as you get your ult off and get your damage off. That's your job. Do damage. It doesn't matter if you live, do damage. And Xeno's doing that.
It helps
and
if
absorbing
you live,
a lot of cooldowns in the process.
I mean, it does help if you live, though.
Well, yeah, but I never live, so I just say it's okay if you don't.
Well, Fire Giant is under threat here by Eager, and immediately Luminosity collapsed back in. Aror to the back with the cavalry charge to slow him down, but BaRRa's not done. He airstrikes straight into the sky. Going to reposition. Thunder crashing as well, gives BaRRaCCuDDa his first kill. Knocked up his Zapman, and he's under pressure as well. Zap being run down by Scary D a little bit more. BaRRa gets himself a second kill. Now he looks towards the 2 tanks. Scary D going to pick up Divios as Xeno takes out Aror. 4 men are dead. Luminosity are going to look for the tier 2.
LG is just a freight train. I mean, they just come screaming through that little corridor in the jungle and just wipe out anyone in their way. Zapman, Aror, DJ, Divios all fall to this LG train, and they're going to go for this right-hand Phoenix, and it's free.
And the funny thing about that as well is they didn't even try to, I mean, they didn't even look at the Golf Fury. Sorry, they didn't even look at the Fire Giant then. They went straight barreling down, and they're looking to end here.
They're going to be trying to end BaRRaCCuDDa pretty low, but he should be able to stay in the back.
No, he won't.
Best's going to fall to Scary D. Scary D 5-1-9 now, and that's the Titan.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, congratulations and welcome your North American #1 seed in the placement stages, Luminosity. Somehow, they went undefeated in every single set.
That was really, really impressive
play. They didn't
play.
drop a single set the whole time.
I mean, we talked about how Eager hasn't looked like quite themselves so far this split. Obviously, still have that land stage in time to turn it around, but LG is just 17 points in a 4-week span is phenomenal.
Yep. 2 splits is all they had, and the rest were all 2-0s against their opposition. It was not what a lot of people expected at the start.
And when you're going to have a run like that, you would need a lot of things clicking. You need to be drafting well. You need to be banning well. You need to be playing well. And it's so hard to get all of those things all on the same page. And LG's managed to do it for a 4-week period.
And on that as well, just so you guys know, Denial has the head-to-head over Allegiance here. So Denial will be 3rd seed. Allegiance will be sat in that 4th position.
In ALG, top 4.
Fantastic performance from them.
Who would have predicted that coming into the split? Enemy bottom 2, ALG top 4. LG at the top. I mean, just a 4 weeks of parity here, and I cannot wait for LAN.
And the thing about the LAN is, just so you guys know at home, we'll release the brackets for yourselves, the group brackets that we'll be going over in the forthcoming weeks between these two. Each of these teams will be divided into 2 groups, and they'll play in groups of 4, and they'll all play each other 4 times total. And the winners, obviously, are based off points again. They'll move on to Super Regionals. So it could be very spicy with how some of these groups could play out now.
Well, I was going to use the word spicy, and then you used it, and now I don't have an adjective. It's going to be cool.
Cool.
You had my adjective. You already used it.
If you want to see more of Aggro, well, he may be at the World Championships this year, if he can get off this CastDust with me. hi-rez.expo.com, you can go over there and get your tickets right about now and put yourselves in a very good position to come and see us.
I mean, I've been to Worlds without being a caster, so I'll just buy a ticket, whatever.
Same again.
You'll see me there.
Well, there we go. There you have it. And here's a little look at Scary D in that game. And this is one of the pickups that we saw at the back of this fight where you were saying, how does he get away with it?
You did it. He did it twice, just diving under that tier 1 tower. You poke out best, forced out the backflip, and then Scary D just comes in and cleans up for free both times. Look at him. I mean, he's just in the middle of the entire team fight. You can't focus him because he's CC immune and has a ton of protections. And you can't ignore him at this point in the game because he does too much damage still.
I like the fact he's the zone between his team, though. He's always the furthest forward on his team. It's like, guys, do not go past me. I can cover you up to this point, but that escape, I don't know how.
So awesome. I mean, and there was the other one in the game 1 wherever he used XenoTronics Gust like in and out, knocking up people multiple times. Just really, really fun play from Scary D.
Well, we do have one of the members of the North American #1 seed on the line right now. Masked, sir, congratulations. How does it feel to be *1?
Thanks. How's it going, guys? Feels pretty great.
Could imagine. I mean, you've done a really good run for yourselves. Obviously, you guys, you specifically, I should say, came from the Denial squad, and then you bounced around to Envy for a little bit, then you went back to Denial a little bit. How does it feel to finally settle down on LG and then find yourselves #1?
I mean, it's really good. Like, I'm really happy to be on a team with like BaRRa and Jeff. Like, there's like really nice guys, and also having like Xeno on my team now. Well, we had a lot of synergy when we were on Denial, so it's really good. Like, the team's coming together, and we're just improving all the time.
Is it easier to come into a situation like that where you know the duo lane has synergy and then you and Xeno have that synergy? Does that make it easier? You don't have to meld 5, you just have to meld 2, 2, and 1, sort of?
Kind of. It's like, we didn't really expect how good our team fights were going to be. Like, we just came in, play together. Like, I knew that we had synergy there, and it did make it easier for us, for sure. And, we already had synergy, so, and then all we needed to practice on was team synergy, and we got it down, I think, for the most part.
I was actually going to ask that as a follow-up question there as well. What do you think the biggest reason is, Master, that you guys have managed to do so well as a team, this split? I mean, is it down to the synergy working that you guys have been doing?
I think it's just everyone wants to win. Like, I feel like BaRRa, like, he had a pretty bad split last time. Like, he'll admit it, and I feel like me as well had a really bad split. We just want to prove ourselves as a team and as players. So, we're coming together and we're playing really well now, and I'm really happy about it.
I mean, it's been a fantastic performance from you guys overall to actually get as far as you have done it, and ending in #1 as well. I mean, when you started this split off, what did you expect personally out of the standings in terms of like the top 4?
Honestly, I probably expected 4th. All honesty, I didn't really. Like, I went in the team, and Luminosity didn't really have that great of a time, and like, as a team, the previous split, because I feel like Denial was even better than them, but like, now that we have like synergy as a team, I feel like, wow, like, we are actually like much better than I expected, for sure.
You spoke about wanting to prove yourself, and you and BaRRa having off splits last time. Going into LAN, this is the place to prove yourself. I'm assuming that team synergy is only going to improve at LAN, right?
Oh, I mean, BaRRa and Jeff have been to LAN before. I mean, we haven't, but I think they're going to carry us at LAN, like, when it comes to, like, attitudes, and, like, they're going to teach us how to be LAN animals. Good
performance from you guys. Do you have any shout-outs before we let you go, Masked?
Shout-outs to LG, and shout-outs to our sponsors. Also, shout-out to my teammates, and shout-out to Destiny.
Shout-out to Destiny, and thank you so much for joining us, Masked. Congratulations on the performance today, the 2-0 over Eager, but not only that, the North American #1 spot. I wasn't expecting to say that after this split, that's for sure.
I'm sure all of LG just feels good, man.
I can imagine. Well, like I said, the brand standings will be announced later next week for you boys and girls. However, tomorrow it's Europe's turn for their final day, and Aggro, well, he's still interested over there too, because 2 teams could be #1.
Without a doubt, Bipolar Method and Energy both fighting for that #1 seed. Plus, yeah, the Obey debut, right?
The
Obey
Obey
Alliance, the former Hungry for More squad, now under the new banner. Should be fun to see them. That's going to be an awesome game up against Dignitas.
Well, when you look at EU now, you've got Energy that were formerly known as Panther. You've got Sanguine that were formerly known as Leftovers. Then you've got Obey the Alliance, which, you know, we're hungry for more. And then Bipolar Method that used to be Paradigm. So lots of changes in terms of sponsorships over there as well.
A lot of bipolar names. They change.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Good job, Aggro.
Thanks,
And
man.
that's all we have for today. I'm going to go off air and get away from Aggro pretty much is going to be my plan.
We're friends.
Yes, we are. In the meantime, though, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a wonderful time, and we'll see you all bright and early tomorrow for some more SPL action in Europe.